right, so this is on the 3 o'clock calendar, State of South Dakota versus Mark Burgess, here with Ms. Smith. It is criminal file 223904. Mr. Burgess, you are charged in an 8-count complaint. Count 1 alleges 1 count of stalking, which is a class 1 misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail and or a $2,000 fine. Counts 2 through 7 inclusive, so that would be 6 counts of permitting, threatening, or harassing telephone calls. Each of those counts is a class 1 misdemeanor. Each is punishable by up to 1 year in jail and or a $2,000 fine. And then finally, count 8 alleges a terrorist threat. That is a class 5 felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison and or a $10,000 fine. Do you understand that you face those charges and the maximum penalties, Mr. Burgess?
Yes.
And Ms. Smith, my understanding is that Judge Power appointed the Public Defender's Office on all of Mr. Burgess's pending cases today. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Okay. If for any reason you haven't been, I would appoint on this case as well. State have a position on bond?
Yes, Judge. State's asking that the arrest warrant of $50,000 cash only be converted to bond. I'm asking for no contact with the hotel located at 1500 North Kiwanis Avenue here in Sioux Falls, Minnehaha County. The allegations here is that the alleged victim was the manager of a hotel. Mr. Burgess had called in, had threatened her, had told her that he was going to, quote, fuck your shit up royally with a gun, told officers to kill themselves with their service weapons after they made contact with him. He made over 30 calls to the hotel and to the victim, and at one point told the victim that he would kill the victim and her children with a gun, and that he would come to the hotel and beat her with a bat, and then he would burn down the hotel. He continued to call her multiple times and continued to threaten her. He's got numerous pending cases, including felony VPO and stalking, violation of protection order, history, terroristic threat, reduced to simple assault, resisting arrest, and obstruction convictions, eluding, obstructing, and trespass convictions as well. That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Smith.
Thank you. Your Honor, we're asking the court to set the bond in this case at a personal recognizance bond. This essentially started out as a civil dispute for charges that were made to his bank card without authorization and escalated into what we have here now. The state's rendition of the facts are basically one-sided, with only making comments to what was his statements without any comments referencing what was made by the other side, intentionally escalating the situation both by law enforcement, which were also present when some of these comments were made. There's no actual physical violence here. There's no actual indication that he actually went any further as far as acting out on any of the statements that were made. It's my understanding he's already posted a $5,000 bond on another matter, so he doesn't have any reason that he would leave the area or not show up for any of his court appearances. So based on that, Your Honor, we're asking the court to set bond at a personal recognizance bond with just simple conditions that he made contact with our office. And he, of course, he's willing to abide by the no contact.
I've read through the arrest affidavit. The arrest amount on the arrest warrant was set by a circuit court judge, so I've reviewed that. The PSA views Mr. Burgess as a high risk to miscourt and to reoffend. He does have some history of threatening phone calls, and that sort of offense is out on bail. Looks like on stalking charges prior to this. Does have a violation of protection order that is pending as well. Allegations in the affidavit are certainly concerning. There are not, however, allegations of actual violence, so I do take that into consideration. So while I do think that a substantial bond is appropriate, I'm going to set it at half of what the state's asking for. $25,000 cash, good behavior, stay in contact with your attorney, attend all of your court appearances, no contact with Kimberly Teets or 1500 North Kiwanis Avenue here in Sioux Falls. That means no contact in person, no telephone calls, no voicemails, emails, text messages, third-party contact, or social media contact, and no contact within 500 feet of that address. We'll enter a not guilty plea and set this matter then for a 15-day preliminary hearing. All right, thank you. And then